All right, let's go. So day number 16, we're still going strong here with the paid advertising. As you'll see in a second here, leads are coming in. The main thing is that I've done a really bad job at actually following up with them. And let me tell you one thing, because this all depends on priorities. And what do I mean? Well, basically, I'm not following up with these leads exactly because I'm focusing on some other things that are taking priority right now. So basically, I'm finding some excuses as to why I'm not following up with the leads. But at the same time, this is where you see the gaps in your actual work, right? Because basically, you have more work that you could do that could actually bring you more revenue. But because maybe you are, let's say, already very busy with something else, which could also probably be improved, so you're not as busy anymore, right? But more so productive. Then as you can see, there are always gaps, even in what I'm doing, and basically even in almost what everyone is doing. So this is just like a reminder here that things can always be done better, right? So that's why I'm actually telling you this, because besides that, I did get a follow and a message on Instagram, which I just checked, but I didn't get to reply to. But it was from someone who saw one of these videos, if I remember correctly. And he mentioned that he has a tool for making this type of lead communication easier. I think it's something like an AI setter, like as you can see, I'm also not very knowledgeable about it, but probably after a call, or maybe after trying it out, I'll probably tell you exactly how it works. But I think in theory it's not hard to understand how it works, right? Like when you get a lead, they might get an automated message on, let's say, WhatsApp or email, right? And that does help you, because let's not forget, if you sell something that's higher ticket, right, then it does make sense to actually reply as fast as possible, because in general, money loves speed, right? And for example, if you would go into a city such as New York, you would see that everything is way faster there. The people, the atmosphere, compared to, let's say, a chill town, right? Let's say in, I don't know, Montenegro, wherever you can think of a chill place. But with all of that being said, I do want to show what's been happening recently in that account. I wouldn't say as much, honestly, because things are stable, but one thing I think we can focus on this video would be the cost caps. Cost caps meaning basically that you set a target cost. So for example, if you want to acquire a customer for $40, you put a cost cap of 30. And does it really work like that? Is it that easy? No, it's not that easy, but it comes with less downside. Meaning that, for example, if an ad that would typically get, let's say, a conversion for $60 and you would put $40 on it as a cost cap, it just won't spend, most likely. However, if it's in the range of, let's say, 30 to 40, probably, in general, I mean, it's probably getting, without any cost cap, $30 to $40 cost per purchase. Then if you put a 30, it is likely to spend some amount, right? So this is where you have to rely on the algorithm, so you have less control. But at the same time, the downside is lower, because you can mess it up in most cases. And I'll show you in a second here what I mean. Basically, I do have some campaigns here that have a cost per lead of either 10 or 5. And it's true that the one that had a 5, I think, got the lead yesterday or today at 7. I'll show you here in a second, or in a minute, better said. And the one that had 10 probably went to 12, but at the same time, it can go lower, so it's in that range. But the thing is that if a lead, in this particular case, would cost $50, I'm sure it won't even spend. So that's a big advantage. The fact that you have some upside if it works, meaning that if something works, the algorithm will spend. If it doesn't work, as you might see here on some ad sets, it just won't spend, which is basically low risk, high reward. And let's be honest, who doesn't like low risk, high reward? Anyway, I actually had a call, as a side note here, I actually had a call with a bigger brand yesterday, and no, it didn't came from here. So paid ads definitely are not, I would say, the best ones to get like the highest quality brands, because those usually get in your lap, let's say, through an intro or through some kind of platform or any place where there is some social proof, right? Because here with paid ads, I mean, you can manufacture some social proof, but still, I wouldn't say it's the same thing as, an intro, for example. I would say that's one of the best ways. But not to make this way too long, let's get straight into the ad account here, because we also need to be tactical and look at data. So let's switch the camera, and in a few seconds here, we'll be back. All right, so we're back. First of all, let's look at the metrics tracker here. So as you can see, the spend yesterday was around $43. CPMs looking decent actually after a few days here of being higher. So I think it has to do with the fact that now we have the cost cap. Then in terms of clicks, you can see here around 5 clicks, 8.71. Yeah, the cost per click will always be slightly higher here. And basically you can see here two leads came in. So I definitely need to actually follow up here. And let's look in Ads Manager, right? Because right now we do have let's say a campaign that has no cost cap or anything, and the one that has a cost cap here. So today, as you can see, this one spent 43, this one 20. So spending more today basically, but doesn't really matter. You usually can get to whatever average you want on a daily basis if you adjust it after that. So as you can see, this one had a cost per lead today, right, of 12, and this one of 7. So let's look at the structure real quick, just so you can understand. I also have it here in the naming convention. So it's CC5, cost cap 5. If we scroll down here, you'll see the cost per result goal, which of course is optional, is set at 5. So basically it should in theory get a $5 cost per lead. So if it would spend $10, it should, in a perfect world, get 2 leads. But we'll have to see. There are still I think around 4 hours until day ends in my time zone. So besides that, you'll see this one, which actually might be of higher quality just because it's 25 plus, and I would say it's more likely to be the right fit, the right audience. And interestingly enough, you'll see something here. So the daily budget is set at $10 and it spent 12.46. So I'm not a big fan when ads do this because it just spends more than it should. But as you can see, it happens. Another thing that I want to point out, if you look at the actual metrics here, is that the other one that had a cost per, let's say, lead set at 5, that one actually got better results. And let's look real quick if it's the same ads. So this ads here, and then this one, same ads. So basically the price overall here, like the cost per click, is higher, mainly due to 2 things. And that's the age group. So it's going after an older audience, which is almost always more expensive. And you can see this by looking at the CPM. And second, I would say it's also because the target cost was set higher, right? So if you're willing to pay more to acquire a customer, a lead, of course, Meta will go after a more expensive audience. So after that, let's go in the main, let's say, campaign, even though I'm not sure if it's going to be the main one for a long time, but the one sending to, let's say, the VSL, even though honestly, like, it's not exactly such a good VSL, or even a VSL. Yeah, I can't call it a VSL because like I didn't script it as much as I would on a VSL real one. So same story here. It spent around $15 even though the daily budget is at 10. So basically this is almost 40-50% more, right? So I'm not a big fan of what Meta is doing here. Fortunately it's small budgets, you know, so I'm expecting this. Like, it's not a huge surprise, but still I think you do need to keep a close eye on your ads if you're managing bigger budgets, and actually same with lower budgets, right? If you're like very conscious of price and so on, right, of your budget, which we should be, honestly. So overall, yeah, getting some clicks here and there, and one of the other things that I'm focusing on is views, right? Because you don't just need to think about the short-term results, right, these leads, but also about the views, right? I mean, many of them might eventually become leads. So maybe even if you run at a lower budget, some of these people will be retargeted and eventually become leads at lower cost than this, right? So let me switch the camera so I can like get to the end of this video and explain a little bit further. So we're back, and as I said, one of the goals here is not actually to like get leads right away and close them. And that's also because if you think short term with anything, you'll start to think short term with almost everything, right? So it's more so of a mindset, you know. It's like if you are a chill guy, you will be a chill guy in most environments. If you are very anxious in almost anything, if you're anxious just because you don't know what to eat next, then you'll be anxious with almost everything, right? So this is more of a mindset thing, and I'm pretty big on mindset just because, think about it, what do you spend your most time doing or with? You know, it's with your thoughts. So if they are not, let's say, the right ones, or you don't have the right attitude towards those thoughts, feelings, then it will be tougher, you know. And I would say that business is mainly a mental game, just because it is hourly, every minute, every second, you know, if you want to go and be very specific with it. But yeah, business is a long game that you would want to play forever. It's not like you start today, you finish tomorrow, you know. Those type of goals might help for some things, like if you want an exit from your company or something like that, but still, even then, it puts pressure on you, which might help, but still, what happens after that, right? Because just like with athletes, after, if they don't have a plan of what they'll do after their career, then we have quite a few examples, I would say, of athletes who just lost their money, were depressed, or yeah, just didn't live life as they could have if they planned, right? So big on planning and mindset, as you can see, but that's why maybe you're following. So if you didn't hit the subscribe button, you can do it. Some videos might be more relevant than others, but as you can see here, we do have like a storyline. We are trying to get visibility, leads, and over time grow. So that's pretty much it for now, and basically we'll end as always. Peace, and see you tomorrow.